Do you have PCOS, and not only do you want to get pregnant, but do you also want to feel healthy? If that's you, then welcome to the PCOS Fertility Health Podcast. Hi, I'm Dr. Angela Potter, an integrative PCOS fertility specialist, and I'm here to share with you the tools that you need to help your body get prepped for baby. Let's go. Let's talk about why PCOS affects your fertility and what to do about it. I'm so happy to have you here because here's what I know about you. You are committed to your health. You know that your body has the capabilities to turn things around. You are committed to getting your body prepped for baby and to understand these missing pieces about why you're still having irregular periods and not ovulating, and get to a place where your body is working as it's supposed to. And I think that is so cool that you have decided to show up here today, and particularly because that is what I do. My fertility superpower is to help you figure out the root cause of what's keeping you stuck and get you on a plan to turn those around so that your body is prepped for baby. So we are a perfect match, and I love having you here. Before we get into it today, I want to share some kind words that somebody wrote about their time working with me. And she writes, Dr. Angela Potter is the absolute best. I came to her with no knowledge on PCOS or if I even had it. She was able to diagnose me and help me have regular periods for the first time in my life at 21 years old. I also had a lot of food intolerances that she reversed, which I never thought possible. I cried when I was finally able to eat the foods I used to love again. If you are thinking about finding someone to help you with the struggles of PCOS, I highly recommend Dr. Potter. I can't speak for her infertility help just yet, but within the next year, we will be trying for a baby, and I can't wait to see how Dr. Potter will be able to help us. Thank you so much for sharing those words. You know who you are. I am just so honored to be working with you. And I want to highlight what you had said here about being able to eat foods that you hadn't been able to eat before. Working on gut health is a big piece of what I did with this person and what I can do for you. That's one of those pieces that seems completely unrelated to fertility, and yet they are closely interconnected. And if you're having gut health issues and fertility struggles and no one's talking to you about gut health, then that's an important missing link. And that's why I make sure to talk about with all of my clients. And when you work with me, I would talk about this with you as well, what your gut health looks like. And if there are things that need to be improved, what is that plan that's going to get you to a place where you're feeling really good and prepped for baby? So let's dive into this topic of why does PCOS affect your fertility? Well, at its core, PCOS is setting you up for this hormonal picture. It's altering your hormones in such a way that moves you from somebody who ovulates and has regular cycles to somebody who doesn't ovulate and doesn't have regular cycles. And what is that? What's happening? PCOS is creating this scene in your body that says, this person is a non-ovulating person. This person does not need to have that fertile environment. We can just shut everything down that sets this person up for ovulation and fertility. We are moving out those fertility hormones and we are moving in these bully hormones that say no ovulation. Hormones like testosterone and DHEA, your insulin level is acting really dominantly, moving around the body saying, no, we don't want any ovulation happening here. Your cortisol is really hyped up, talking to all these different systems and organs around your body saying, nope, this is a non-ovulating person. We do not want that egg coming out of the ovary. Let's shut that process down. And these hormones, they kind of create this gang inside your body. And they're like, hey, we're the big kids on the block and we do not want ovulation in this person. And they are running around and talking to all of the other hormones and all of your organs, to your ovaries and your uterus. And they're saying, you wanted to ovulate. No, we are going to overtake the system here and not let you do that. And it's a little bit like the chicken and the egg here, because you have testosterone, this bully hormone running around shutting down ovulation. And you also have insulin and it's running around. It's way too high and it's creating this havoc in your body. On top of that, it is raising more testosterone levels. So it's pushing that testosterone to say, yeah, I support you, testosterone. I support this no ovulation body that we've got here. Your cortisol levels, your stress hormone, doing the same thing. It's just way too elevated during the day. You've got way too much cortisol running around. And what is that doing? It's raising your insulin levels and raising those testosterone levels. So do you see how those are just this gang of hormones working together to keep you from ovulating, to keep you from having a regular cycle? And now you may not have all three of those hormones that are elevated. You might have one or two of those elevated, but that's what's happening, is that these hormones are pushing your body away from this fertile environment where you are all ready and prepped for baby to the opposite side to say, no, we don't want ovulation to be happening here. Now, of course, we need insulin on a regular basis. It's an essential hormone to our lives. But what's happening is that insulin is not just at its nice regular spot. It's elevated. And when it's elevated, that's when it gets into that bully hormone place, pushing those testosterone levels. Cortisol. Cortisol is a hormone that we need. It is the hormone that wakes you up in the morning and gets you ready for the day. But what's happening with PCOS is that cortisol is really elevated, way higher than it needs to be throughout the day. And that's making you anxious and stressed. It's keeping you up at night. It's giving you headaches, all of that. And it's also keeping you from ovulating and having a regular cycle. And that leaves your fertile, juicy nutrients, your progesterone, your LH, and your FSH to go, what is happening right now? One goes really high and one goes really low. They're just like freaking out, don't know what to do. And so they can't go into their regular rhythm. Your progesterone levels go, I'm scared. I don't like this testosterone. And so I'm just going to hide away. And so your body doesn't have any progesterone. And so those fertile hormones are just hidden away. They're not strong enough to overtake those bully hormones to say, hey, we want to ovulate. We really want to help this person make a baby. Those hormones, they're just not strong enough. And the other hormones, those bully hormones, are way too dominant. And they can't even hear that progesterone shouting, please, I want to help this person ovulate. No, testosterone is like creating too much havoc to even stop and listen. So it's just this chaos. But is it going to be like that forever? Are you never going to be able to have regular cycles to ovulate and to get pregnant? If you know one thing about my practice and my philosophy about PCOS, it's that it is absolutely a possibility to get regular cycles, to ovulate naturally, and to get pregnant with PCOS. Women in my practice are seeing this day in and day out. Your body's natural resting place is to have a cycle every month and to ovulate. Your body's natural resting place is to be fertile. Your body's happy place is when those bully hormones, as I've called them in this episode, that testosterone, insulin, cortisol, that they're all working exactly as they're supposed to be. They're in their rhythm, which means they're lower. They're not shouting to the ovaries, stop ovulation. They aren't overpowering progesterone levels. They're just doing their thing, what they need to be doing, which allows them progesterone to rise. Your LH and FSH are like, okay, I'm getting the right signals here. I can set up for ovulation now. And progesterone is saying, yes, I can't wait to ovulate. And you know what? Let's not just ovulate. Let's make a baby. And so all these hormones are talking to your eggs, talking to all the systems necessary for fertility. And they're saying, hello, we are having ovulation in 3 more days. Everybody get prepped. Everyone do their job. It's 3 days, people. okay, now it's 2 days. Everyone do their jobs. We are setting up for ovulation. This is the natural resting place that your body wants to be in. And it is absolutely a possibility to get there. And what needs to happen is you need to know how to put these pieces together. You need to have that clarity on what are the bully hormones in your body right now. Because, like I said, you might have all those hormones that are bully hormones, or maybe you just have one or two. So, you've got to figure out which ones are running around your body that are saying, no, we don't want ovulation here. And then you need a plan that brings them back to balance, so then once they are in that regular rhythm, it allows those other hormones to come out of their hiding places and to say, okay, it's time for me to shine. Let's get this person ovulating. And the cool thing is that's what I help you do. I help you get that clarity on what is keeping you stuck, what bully hormones are creating your body to be a non-ovulating body. And I set you up with a plan that gets those hormones back into their regular rhythms, so then you can create that fertile environment so that your fertile hormones are active and happy and healthy. There are certainly doctors out there who will tell you, oh, IVF is the only way to get pregnant when you have PCOS. Or there's no way that you can get pregnant naturally when you have PCOS. And I just don't see that in my practice. Women who are working with me are turning around irregular cycles so that they're having regular cycles and they're ovulating. And that reminds me of this one person who I was working with. And before she started working with me, her doctor told her, yeah, there's nothing that you can do for your PCOS. No diet, no lifestyle, nothing else is going to help your PCOS. And she's just like, that doesn't feel right to me. And she had been on birth control, which felt really bad in her body. Like she was reacting to it in a really poor way. And so she's like, but I tried the medications and they didn't work. There's got to be something else. And so she looked for other options and she found me. And she was able to get a cycle 1 month into working with me. And moving forward, she was having regular cycles. And then by month 4, she was pregnant. Her body was prepped for baby. What I helped her with is to figure out the missing links that were keeping her stuck. What were those bully hormones in her body that were saying, we don't want ovulation here. We do not want regular cycles. I was able to pinpoint those for her and then get her on a plan that created that natural resting place, that fertile environment for her so that she was prepped for baby. And that's what I can help you with too. That's my expertise. I am here to help you figure out the root cause of your fertility struggles. Figure out which of these hormones are creating that chaos in your body and get you on a plan so that they are low and your body switches into this place where it just has that fertile abundance and you are prepped for baby. So if you are ready to get prepped for baby, then you can sign up for a free PCOS fertility breakthrough session with me. And you can sign up for that at drangelapotter.com/PCOS. It is possible to get from a place where you have these hormones running around saying, this is not an ovulating body. We do not want ovulation happening here. And turn that into a place where your hormones are shouting out, it's ovulation time, people. Let's go. Let's go. Let's help this person make a baby. And what you need is to figure out the missing links, figure out the root cause, figuring out which hormones are hiding away and which hormones are speaking too loudly and shutting down ovulation. And then getting those hormones into rhythm so that they are working in a place, getting you set up for baby. That is when fertility opens up. And that is when your body is working as it's supposed to. and when you are prepped for baby. So now you know why PCOS affects fertility and what you need to do in order to turn that fertility ship around so that you are heading straight for baby. It is possible to get regular periods and to ovulate on your own when you have PCOS. I see this all the time in my practice, and women with PCOS are getting pregnant every single day. And you could very well be next. Hold on to that as you go forward today. If you want to support this podcast, you can leave a 5-star review on Apple Podcasts or simply share this episode with your friends. And as a reminder, the information on this podcast is just that. It's information, and it should not replace the medical advice that you are currently getting from your doctor. Thanks so much for being here. I'll see you right back here next Wednesday.